Welcome, everybody, to Flat Earth Nation. Now, Mud Flood was Armageddon. Mud Flood was Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. We've been knocking it out of the ballpark ourselves. And woke up this morning. I thought I was going to be going to Houston with Tommy, but Kathy took the day off and she's riding up with him over to Houston. So here I am, and I'm watching this video from UAP, and I'm thinking, perfect. And I'm only part way into it, so we'll get to see the rest of it together. And the main way to look at it is he didn't fall for the Mandela effect at all. It's not a part of his thinking. He knows, like it's not hard for them to film different scenes in Moonraker where Dolly's braces are on and then off. Because this is a plan of Satan. You don't think they have those type of things covered? But I'm at the point of thinking that, we might be everybody at a tipping point. The balance is here where if you believe in the Mandela effect, you're going to think this is the greatest new proof ever. If, like me, and it looks like UAP, you just dismiss it out of hand. You know that it's a CGI thing. And so I'm going to just try to give credit where credit's due, is that based on what I've seen, I couldn't have improved his explanation at all. So this is a way, is like, what I'm going to try to do is say, I'm going to watch at least up to where we drop in on the video, to where I took the thumbnail and pointed the gun, because I agree with everything that he says. This is just a satanic attempt to support the Mandela effect. But it also gives us a chance to reinforce the fact that I don't care if, like they did at Armageddon and before Armageddon, and Satan and the false prophet and the beast bring fire down from sky again. I'm not falling for it. I'm just not falling for it. I want to say hello to Sean, and good morning right back at you to Laura. I'm so thrilled you're here, and I hope you haven't seen this video, because that's what I want. It's not that I have as I used to have a bigger platform than UAP, but right now he's kind of the man. So here you go. Check it out. I'm excited by it. It's about the Wizard of Oz too. And so, and how about that total, what do they call that? I did that today with the clickbaiting title, paradigms. Come on. So anyway, there's the gun. You can see I cleaned up that picture a little bit for you. A short video, but here, go ahead, continue. Why don't you start over in knocking it out of the park? What I was said before, I clicked it wrong. UAP, go ahead and start knocking it out of the park.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Is it a Mandela effect? I don't know. But check it out. The Scarecrow has a gun, a revolver. It's funny because there's no, or not much memory of this. If you read the comments, and at least I didn't remember him having that, having seen this movie before a few times. It doesn't really seem to fit. I don't remember him acquiring it. It wasn't one of the items that were given to them, and I don't think it was in with any toys or anything like that. And it's funny how he holds it. It's inconsequential. It's a firearm. It's a handgun, and it's like it's not even there. It's almost as if it's just edited in. And the way he
want to welcome Matt G. Not interrupting for commentary on the video, just interrupting to say, hey, Matt G, you haven't missed a thing. It's just that UAP's knocking it out of the park. He just started.
holds it is funny-ish, and it doesn't seem to contact or touch any other things. It looks so foamy, like rubber, and he kind of drops it or throws it. It's like he's not even holding it. You could easily redo that scene with Dwight. You could easily redo that scene without the gun. He's not packing heat, was he? Just seems strange to me. Of course, we have a kind of a warped view about guns and firearms. It used to be that you could take a gun to school if you were in a sharpshooters club or marksmanship after school extracurricular activity. Up until the early 80s, at least in the United States, you could do that. And I fired a gun in class a few times with physics, doing ballistics with the pendulum momentum test. You can calculate the weight of the bullet or the velocity of the bullet. Simple algebraic equations. Force equals mass times acceleration times the frictional constant. If you really want to get technical, gravity doesn't factor in there. Just the downward acceleration. But yeah, I mean, was he packing heat? Does it look funny too? Maybe it was in there. Maybe it's just like it's the way it kind of dangles, and was it always there? I guess he holds his other hand up too. It's not like he's holding up the gun and his other hand is down, but both hands are up at the same level, and he grabs and moves and things like he's not carrying it, you know. And look how fake it looks. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's kind of, if reality is editing that in, CERN or whatever, they're not doing the best job of it. Yeah. And if he's holding a gun, would he really be like that? I mean, it's like he's not even holding it. It's not even how you hold a gun, by the way. And where does it go? Like, he's waving around. I mean, what kind of safety protocol do they have there? The monkeys have the globe. When I came across this, I was looking at eclipse footage, and there's a kid with a neck.
Okay, that's as far as I watched the video. This looks interesting though too. But let's see what else I got here. About maybe I got something about the make sure we're sharing. We're sharing. Hola, Rob Files. ¿Qué pasa? Let's check this out. Things I was looking at here before the show. This is from last night. I just kept it up. I closed out the other ones from last night, except a couple, just because this is such a cool thing. I don't even. Bessarabian frontier. That's like Bessarabian frontier or Bessarabian. That looks faked. Looks like they faked that 8 and the 5. I don't know what they could be faking all these numbers for. Anyway, it was Janny, not Jana, not just Jan. It looked like they went with the Janny for a while. Here you go, Parliament. I'm going to lay this before you here. We're talking about the Wizard of Oz. Don't forget, we're just right now. This is what we in the content provider situations call rabbit trailing, and it's cool. This red line is some sort of a like a Great Wall of India, something like that. We were studying these old walls and stuff. We didn't get a chance to get to this one. We've been looking at this physics stuff anyway, finding vortexes everywhere. We don't buy that that Schrodinger's cat can be dead and alive. We don't want to think about that. We know that quantum physics doesn't take into account refraction. Ah, that's too much rabbit trailing. Oh, watch. Look, I just closed it. There we go. Hey, did you ever see this Oz balloon scene? Did you ever Google that? Search it? I did. We're gonna look. This is for after we finish the UAP video. We'll be looking at this kind of stuff.
Will Thornu survive? I got $150 left to raise before tomorrow morning. What is messing with our magnetic field?
Will we soon find ourselves back in the Stone Age again? Within 2 human lifetimes, Earth's magnetic field has become weaker significantly, and the magnetic North Pole is tilted 2,000 kilometers.
All right. Well, that's getting way ahead of where I'm ready to go. I want to stick with the 1831 discovery of all of these other movements. The fact that I was a surveyor and always, had to adjust from true north to magnetic north and never bothered to go like, why am I doing this? We'll just start there. We got this other stuff to look forward to. These guys have their opinion, and we'll see what it is. We're more up to date here. This is just last summer. Don't worry. That's the whole takeaway on this Love Your Brother episode of Mud Flood Was Armageddon. And so we're going to and hopefully, look, we're going to thumb this up like everybody should do and go over there and watch him keep. So he's going to tie it up here and maybe he'll get back to it. But we're only halfway, a little more than halfway through.
The monkeys have the glue. When I came across this, I was looking at eclipse footage, and there's a kid with a neck gaiter mask, and this is 2017, folks.
Hey, let's go do some more decoding.
Eclipse footage.
Look at that weird T-shirt. It's a rhinoceros covering up his horn. No, it's a bulldog. It's Winston Churchill characterized as a bulldog and a rhino with a rainbow Fergian cap and another type of dog over here. You know, this thing is just begging to get split and deciphered, but I don't have the time. Anything else weird in the picture? We got some RAL here. The Masonic symbol up here.
And there's a kid with a neck gaiter mask, and this is 2017, folks. There's no getting around it. Kind of strange, I think. This isn't Asia. What the heck?
Oh, you guys, you know those guys that have that new projection of the Earth being like the asteroids game and it swings around like Pac-Man? This great eclipse of 2017, before those knuckleheads got interviewed on Jeranism, the last I saw them, they were predicting that this was the rapture. And Jason was crying in his backyard that his mom and dad wouldn't listen to him. And he was so sad that they'd missed the rapture. True story.
What's going on with that?
Put on your solar safety glasses, determine how much of the sun you saw blocked by the moon. Now, Hopkinsville was Kentucky's point of greatest eclipse, and people came from around the world to experience this amazing celestial event.
You get a better view of the corona there. That's what they call that eclipse thing. When I'm in the path of the eclipse, of the full viewing, I'll be able to see the corona. The light that shines around the total eclipse like a diffraction. I guess that disproves quantum physics too.
On a day when the world's going to go dark. On a day when the world's going to go dark.
On a day where the world is... Oh, come on. That was old the first time people did it.
Well, they were jumping the gun there. It'd take a couple more years before the whole world would go.
You know what? Knocking it out of the park, my man.
The darkness, but it's just kind of a odd thing to say like that, the way they did. But anyway, okay.
Hoptown became the center of the universe. The expectation of over 100,000 guests and a nearly $30 million economic impact became a reality. 116,000 visitors from over 25 countries, 47 states, and 3 U.S. territories.
Man, this was big for the flat earth movement. This is great to get this out of the mothballs and say, remember your first love and how it brought you back to the Bible, and the veil keeps getting lifted.
Hopkinsville became Eclipseville. We were excited to showcase Hopkinsville to the world, the state, and everyone. We had events every evening downtown, good crowd. In Japan, it's really a phenomenal experience, and we hope we extended the warm welcome to the world.
The tour, this is stereotyping. This is supposed to be funny. The tourist from Japan was disappointed because he thought that Kentucky was Tennessee and he'd be able to see Elvis's home. Remember that movie? No? It was funny. Should have been there.
The eclipse is important because it's something that doesn't happen every day, and maybe you can see it once, or if you are very lucky, twice in your life.
First, we'd like to present...
Wrong. I've seen it like 4 times. They happen all the time.
The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, specifically to Renee here, with great appreciation for Hopkinsville, Kentucky, point of greatest eclipse, shine as brightly as the corona during the August 21st, 2017 total solar eclipse. This is an official key to the city of Hopkinsville, and we promise we're not even going to change the locks. So the National Aeronautics and Space Administration shine as brightly as the corona. So we invite you back anytime, and we thank NASA for being here, for being part of this.
That was good. Here, remember how I said that never gets that was old the first time? We're going to do that one again. Good one. He said corona, and it was cool.
And Space Administration shine as brightly as the corona. So we invite you back anytime, and we thank NASA for being here, for being part of this, and making it such a special experience. Thank you so much.
I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you so much.
This is actually the first total solar eclipse that I will have ever observed, so I am just as excited as you all for the unique opportunity that we have here in Hopkinsville, the point of greatest eclipse. I am indeed a planetary scientist, and I happen to study the moon. So what I like to tell everyone when you're looking up at that fully eclipsed sun...
Full disclosure, I'm not saying I've been at 4 times where it's like, these guys, it's like, this is the epicenter of the total eclipse. I mean, I didn't know there was such a thing. That looks like, you know, really with the black hole sun, we're probably seeing about 2%, because we can't stand the full light. We'd die. We'd be like those X-ray people in the movies. Just
What you're really seeing is the moon, my favorite planet.
what?
Start by looking like a bite taken out of a cookie, just a little bite. And slowly, over the course of the next hour and a half, that bite's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until that's when you'll be able to see the corona, which is the sun's hot outer atmosphere. It will look like white, wispy crown that comes out in all directions from the sun out towards the earth.
I don't usually lack for words.
Hey, does anybody remember what was up with that whole thing about, it's like this eclipse? They showed all those times where the people were going like, why is it upside down? Why are we seeing it upside down? You know, that was a little while ago, and a lot of things I can't remember from back then.
And I am struggling with the compelling nature of what I just saw.
Si pudiera describir esta experiencia con una palabra, esa palabra sería impresionante. Spectacular.
In any language, you know that she just said, once in a lifetime opportunity, it was worth it. She's never been happier in her life. And now this girl here, she doesn't even need to talk. You can see it in her eyes. This is the happiest she's ever been. There's no buyer's remorse. Break that spell on me.
Extraordinary.
Amazing.
Whatever. I mean, it's like, you know, I got to go potty. Hi, I'm Elton John for KET.
This world, uniquely Kentuckian.
Exhilarating.
Now get this microphone out of my face before I... Oh! What? Look at...
Almost as if it's like the white.
He got a gun.
You could easily redo that scene. It's just like it's the one.
Now, is he... Who are the bad guys in all of this? Remember, I had this queued up. Oz balloon scene. And as we go down, oh, create a hot air balloon scene. No, we don't want to do that. It floats away. That sounds interesting. Hot air balloon scene. Uh-oh. Hey, you know, I did this video a long time ago, too, because I noticed this. when I was a little kid, and I always told my sisters, watch, 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 to the point of where they'd be like, shut up. I get it. So here they are. Time to go, right? You'd all recognize this. This dog, in case you can't see the dog, we'll go full screen. There's the dog. Now, does she let the dog out? Speech, speech, speech. Casual look. Oh, she looks suspicious. The dog looks suspicious. He looks suspicious. That top hat got clubbed by slaves working for the Russian American company. We know that now. This is hemp rope. We know everything about everything depicted in this from our studies. Like, keep your eye on the dog. Where'd the dog go? Who let the dogs out? Man holding rope, securing aforementioned balloon. Speech, speech, speech. Hello, I've got a heart. Or something. I got a brain, a doctorate of thinkology. Well, there it is. And this guy here, he's got a clock on his heart. They're not buying it. They know it's fake. Look whose hand is on the rope. Where's the dog? Former clubbed seal. Angle of St. George's. Oh, I'm just reaching with that spear. Come on. Click. Dog, basket, Glinda in the... I'm a lion. I had a gun. Whoa, whoa. Sorry about that. I should have warned you. Dog barking. Hey. Oh, so she is not complicit. As usual, and without any coarse jesting, it was that pussy's fault. Gone. Who's in charge of the other rope? The man with the brains. He's got the rope. It seems to be freed up, and now he's feigning, straining, pulling on the rope. Go. Out goes Dorothy, quickly. The heroic lion, red ribbon in his hair, and he's ready to go to San Francisco if you're wearing ribbon. Oh, my first love, Alana McKenzie. Formerly, she was married to Scott McKenzie, the man who sang that song. If you're going to San Francisco, wear flowers in your hair. So that's why I'm referencing Scarecrow with a half hitch, unhitch, with no belay pressure being applied. Go. Down goes Dorothy. Clears the steps. We see no rope on the belaying effect. Said hero has now abandoned the rope, leaving it with supposedly the man with the heart. Go. Man with the heart doing his job. Half hitch, reattached to the post. Not a Mandela effect. I've noticed that since the early 70s. Upside down feather. Tin Man. A half ounce of pressure will keep this in place. So it is secure. Although the back post has been abandoned by the man who I think planned it all, the man with the brains. He's left his post. Perhaps a guilty conscience with the lion. He only wanted to knock him from top to bottomless. It's all down to the Tin Man. Go. Oh! Did you see it? Right after I said go. Half hitch, guilty party. There. Do you need any more proof of the pre-Mandela effect? Look how that feather turned into the railing of the staircase. Remember when you thought it was a feather? That was fun. Half hitch not supported because it doesn't have a half ounce of pressure. That's not going to work. Mission accomplished. Go. Go. See the half hitch pull? Oh, fake. That pathetic, weak jumper. Now, look at the symbolism of the eyeball. And they're just like they planted us green-eyed demons in the world. Go. He's got it. The man with the brains grabs him and says, let go of the rope. You had to fake jump to get it. Got it. No, what is this? How did this get on the screen? Who clicked this? What is going on? Stop. I'm in the air. I'm dive bombing. I'm rabbit trailing with the best of them. Those gloves right now would cost you about 140 bucks if you can find them. I'm jet planing. Going back. Hi. Are there any planes around here I can fly? I need some expensive gloves. Did you guys know that? What did you think about that? Did you see that? Anybody ever ask you, Dorothy's just accidentally escaped from Oz? What are you going to tell them from here on out? It was a conspiracy. So what's up with that magnetic Earth stuff, huh? Remember that? Good job at UAP. So I'm not, 32 minutes, there would have been a lot more if I would have found my pen. I was going to write down a bunch of stuff that was like super cool. So here's where they first discovered that whole deal about we got a magnetic pole. There's some of those pictures we've studied in the mud flood of those guys. Remember the fireworks and the lit up buildings with the neon lighting up the whole star fort? And they're going like, in 1831, we found magnetic north. We know how a compass works. It's like, hey, look, that's like almost Tartarian Eskimos. What do they got to do with this? Maybe they told them where they should point their compass. I was like, they didn't listen to the Vikings, I guess. So anyway, that's where it is, right here. Here it is. Well, look at the pictures. There's the Herman Melville Peninsula. There's only one picture of the whole thing. Something as famous as John Ross was forced by ICE to stop for 4 years at its easternmost point starting in 1829. He named it after his patron, Sir Felix Wilkes Booth. Just kidding. I don't know if he's John Wilkes Booth's cousin, uncle, Ross. Because, they'd be contemporaries. Little John Wilkes Booth was just right now like about to be born, I think. And he's going like, man, I wish I could be a famous enough actor to get close to the president. I'd kill him in a heartbeat. Thus always with tyrants I should yell. That'd be like the exclamation point. You know, some people live it, dream it. This guy was not living it for 4 years, stranded up there. But he wasn't going to miss the chance to name it after Felix Booth because he was a sir, a knighted person. Hey, what's going on? You guys are so cool. What's happening? Are you guys Tartarians too? What's with that whole thing where everybody said Paco's crazy that there's Asians in North America and we're part of Tartaria too? Oh, right. We don't even we don't even know anything about no magnetic North Pole. We'll look at that later. In 1831, his nephew, James Clark Ross, keeping it in the family, went overland and reached the magnetic north. Well, let's pick up. First off, after he met these people and go like, wow, what are you doing here? He described as they were living in igloos. Check out my igloo. And that's the famous painting. This must be the famous painting by Hank Larson. Got his nephew, said, hey, you take the sledge, you go that way, I'll go this way. So he crossed. He said, no problem. It's only the land of 9,000 lakes. So he took off going it. And I guess they found the magnetic north. He said, I found it. Well, it wasn't. It's a point on the surface of the earth. I'm going to leave this out. At which the planet's magnetic field or plane, just leave off the T apostrophe S, at which the plane magnetic field points like it would more regularly if this was a disk. It'd look more like a regular magnetic pole, not like this abomination. At which point the planet's magnetic field would need to be on a swivel so it could point vertically downward. In other words, if a magnetic compass needle is allowed to rotate in 3 dimensions, it would point straight down. There is only one location where this occurs, near but distinct from the North Pole. We'll look at that later. In the meantime, you'll suffice to know that it is the point in the northern hemisphere where the Earth's axis of rotation meets the surface. It is called the true North Pole, as to distinguish it from the magnetic North Pole. We're looking at that right now. That's why it's redundant. There's a dipole of the Earth. Check this out. Is that the 2 pillars of Jachin and Boaz mentioned in the Bible? Is this the angle of St. George the Lion? Is this my imagination, or does that kind of look like a face? Is this the needle of a lobotomy, or do I have a very active imagination? Countered by the fact of my logic, which weighs them out, and I choose, because God has allowed me to trust the Bible, to trust nothing but the Bible to get my ultimate truths about spirituality. Shameless self-promotion or the absolute truth. So Randy and I have gone over this in detail what is with that dumb picture. So it was discovered here. So we can't believe anything except it was like somebody said it was here once. It rotates up around here. Other people must have discovered it and not reported it. Here's 1831, and so they charted it and they said, well, it used to go over here, but since we've actually charted it, we put these dots. They didn't do much charting until after the reset history started to be rewritten. And then they said, you know what you guys would say, WTF, why did it jump here before they planned the whole final reset with the whole fake Kennedy assassination, and let's set up hey, a Roman Catholic could get elected in this country, because nobody cares about his idolatrous papist Mary worshiping cult of a ISIS worship Baphomet sham. And then 73, they said, let's oil embargo. In 1984, they managed to keep conservatives hidden that they're selling crack to arm and fight the Sandinistas. In 1994, they said, boom, deal with the Clintons for the rest of your life. In 2001, there was the last 45 years started in a new systematic theology called premillennialism, shown by God and systematized by one Paco Flat Earth. In 2007, the effects of the attack on the worldwide market came into effect, and people realized, what, you can lose money and property? Yeah. All that from the magnetic North Pole. Thank you, Lord. So it's moving for some unknown reason. It's just going like, I'm out of my mind. I got to go. Anyway, Randy can explain why it goes that way. Something about the picture of it. Where's that crap? If I can find that island, I'll show you what he talks about. When he's not busy working for the freaking man like a slave, like all his life, all he does is can beans and make their steam work. Nobody else in the world can do steam in Wisconsin. Where's those pictures of it? There's this one that's perfect, because it describes the four corners of the earth too. So it's our favorite example of the four corners of the earth. But it's like the gun sights on it's like gun sights. These are the worst. That's not looking through a telescope. Does anybody actually know what it's like to make looking through gun sights? So imagine this as a flat Earth disk. This is all flat Earth, and the magnetic north, wherever when Jesus comes back, like in Zechariah 14, and he stands on the earth and he cracks it, that's where magnetic north is going to be with all this shifting is done. And then this is the four corners of the earth. It's exactly four corners. I wish it weren't a tree, because there's this picture of the earth, and it shows how it's moving. It's tracking magnetic north with the crosshairs on it, and we're going. And I don't want to sound like Ronnie and Jason, but we're like, hey, that looks like the four corners of the earth. And I'm like, totally, four corners for sure. Imagine that's a flat earth map. Look at me, I'm on the North Pole in 1990. Yay, I got my igloo cooler, got my fire starter sticks, got my $140 gloves. There it is. This is from 1595, one of the early Mercator T&O map. Here's California. Yippee-yi-yi-yi-yi-yi-oh. Here's Asia. None coming from a land down under. My ship got stuck. Look, we found it. Yay. Hey, let's make a treaty that nobody else can come here. Not yet. Ban this crap. You thought I said, damn it. Yep. We've got 400,000 cases of beer. It'll be chilled to the bone. Don't worry about it. Mush. What? Look at me. I'm at the North Pole in 2005. Let's decorate it for Christmas. First ever man descent. Looks flat to me. Look at why doesn't it go in the the rotation of the axis? Why is it spinning out this way and tip it? And those geocentric satellites, the best explanation is that they launched them up, and what they say they're doing is, with their quantum physics math, is launching it over the earth to about right here, to where it starts eternally falling as this spins under it. It's surfing that vacuum of space and the atmosphere right in between it at exactly the right point where it just continually falls all the way. But it takes that super precise math to get it to fall eternally. You got to hit it right here, I guess. I shouldn't guess. I don't know.
Off the Earth's polar axis. In fact, a full pole reversal is possible. It happened last 780,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's too vague for me.
very beginning of human history. But cavemen didn't have satellites, mobile phone networks, GPS navigation.
Oh, yeah. We didn't need it, man.
Really easy to look up the location of the magnetic pole dating back to the early 1900s. But the recent changes of the drifting pole are raising some concerns, but the direction is not the problem. In fact, the direction of
Hey, no problem. Peace, peace when there is no peace. When this thing gets done moving in 2045, we'll find out. Because it's going home, baby.
the drifting pole has been roughly the same for as long as scientists have been tracking it. It's the speed that's the issue. That's what she said, because she was a police officer, and you were speeding. Every 5 years, a scientist recalculates the location of the magnetic pole. Good for them. This is important information for global navigation, which includes GPS satellites and other technology. These changes can make a big difference in our everyday lives. Oh, hell yeah. Scientists.
Give me 5, baby. Remember, and I always, documented how the Lord led me to be a surveyor, ending up there at Fort Bragg, the home of the 82nd Airborne, because I thought, hey, let's go fight. If I want to fight these Iranians, or I gotta help. What's the best way to do it? And I thought, well, with my super brain, man, I'll go be a surveyor, and that way, I'll just survey it in, and those artillery guys can take care of it, and we'll get those hostages free in Iran in no time. So joined the army, became a surveyor. Never asked what is true north, what is magnetic north. But anyway, I get assigned to this 17th Air Corps support, and to find myself with my good friend Lance Peterson. He we called him Pete. He didn't like, he came with us. He's super smart too. He's a surveyor. So we're on this crew. And the reason, it's like he's the only person I hung out with all 3 years in the Army, because we were like the spades champions in Fort Bragg, and that was a big deal, playing spades. A lot of free time in the Army. So anyway, we're assigned to something called, they're going to test the parallel azimuth direction center, and they need 2 platoons of surveyors. Well, we're in the same platoon, and they get another one, and us. So we have Sergeant Gavin and Sergeant Blazini, and another sergeant, I can't remember his name. He was a card cheater. And we start working on the parallel azimuth direction center, which turned into the GPS. So, and yes, Pete was, he was a true Christian man, It probably still is. I mean, I think he's probably like 61, 62 years old now. And no, not if there's a Lance Peterson that's a writer, I don't think so. Lance can write, but if he was a famous writer, I would have known about it, and I'd know where he is. Last I known, he's in Huntington Beach, California. So that's all documented, and I've been right there the whole time, and I'm sure that he's still serving the Lord. I know I am, best of my ability. And so, yeah, we were in on doing that. And we can show you that this whole GPS system was set up on triangulation, and it was called the parallel azimuth direction system. Maybe we should look that up. I mean, we're just free balling right now. I'm trying to, all these other guys like UAP, boom, 8 minutes of condensed genius, where I try to go overwhelm you with 3 hours of like, I bet you didn't think I could keep talking. Yeah. I gotta scratch the surface about some of the crazy stuff that's been in my life. What's this? I was gonna look up something, right? Anybody? Something to prove something? Oh, yeah. That's how you spell azimuth? I don't even think that's right. That, you know, you can get in a lot of trouble with misspelling words. There's where we did it. That's how we used to do it. This is how I did it. Before they had it took up the back of a Jeep, and it had a pretty high antenna on it, and it drove around from spot to spot, and it received by triangulation. They didn't need us anymore. So they don't have surveyors anymore in the United States Army or any military branch, as far as I know. What we used to be called our MOS, which is your job description, was 82 Charlie. It's been retired. Let's look that up real quick before we give up. Records field data, prepares schematic sketches, and marks survey stations, performs astronomic observations. No, we don't. We measure azimuths and angles and determine deviations for targets. I don't know where, nobody that I know ever performed astronomic observations at all. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Right. So this is an article about when they're probably going, we don't need these guys anymore. So here's I just looked for pads and it doesn't give me anything. Thank you, Lord, because these people were not going to help me. They were going to leave me hanging looking like an idiot. Well, I'm not an idiot. We worked on this, me and Pete. Not Pete and I. If you can't say it like filling it in, like, you know, I went to the store, not me went to the store. So Pete and I could go to the store. The reason I remember Sergeant Gavin's name so clearly is for a while we didn't know because he was such a hard person to read. It's just like we had no idea if he was any relation to, well, you fans of the military already know. I wonder if he did anything cool. Like he's got to be a Mason, right? Freemason or something? Because he's in on effect. He's not some jumping general who's a real badass. That's all fake. Those bunch of fake posers, they weren't badasses. You weren't either, Schwarzkopf, you punk. Yeah, he founded the 82nd Airborne, or he was the big new jet, the reinvigoration of it. I didn't know that he was a major general. I thought he was a brigadier. Seems different that it was founded so much earlier. He didn't have anything to do with it being in the 40s. Youngest major general to command. Anyway, he's famous, and I had a sergeant. Yeah, when we were working on that pad system, a couple of people, we were figuring that out. It was 1983, 1982 or 83. I don't know when we wrapped it up. Quit school after 8th grade and became a shoe clerk. Who could pass up $12.50? Ooh, next he got promoted to general manager of an oil company. Isn't that convenient? When did he get tapped on the shoulder and said, would you like to roll up your sleeve, take off your shirt, have a sword pointed at your heart, and take a vow that will kill your family if you ever tell anybody what we are about to tell you? He was the fighting person that never got tired of studying algebra and geometry, trying to write a thesis on why quantum physics is a complete and utter hoax. Well, there you go. That's my attempt right there of trying to see how we go against, and we're trying to fight the prevailing world of where it's like nobody can be nice to somebody else on if you're a content provider. Well, right there, thanks to UAP knocking it out of the park on does that gun belong in the Wizard of Oz, when you accept help from people that are doing good work and build on it. I think I knocked the second half of this out of the park, trying to tie in that whole thing. Remember that hilarious bit when I was going through like stop and go with the Tin Man and the guilty party all along, the Scarecrow with his fake brain, that artificial intelligence. They're out to get Dorothy every time on this flat Earth nation. And it is a flat Earth nation, and Mudflood was Armageddon. And I'm never going to tell you anything else, and neither are my friends. Although there's some people that I like to be friends with that don't want to admit all the time that it's a flat Earth nation and Mudflood was Armageddon. You will always hear it here. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho.